Now the seventh sutra, pratyaksha, numah, nagamah, pramanani, as Maharshi mentioned pramana as the first disturbance which could come to get the fluctuations in the mind. And he is defining it as the direct, inferred, or proven as factual. Means the direct perception, correct inference or deduction, and the testimony from authoritative sacred scriptures or experienced persons. Initially, individual perceptions should be checked by reasoned logic and then seen to correspond to traditional or scriptural wisdom. This process involves the enlightened intelligence, buddhi or bodha. In modern intellectual terms, we take buddhi to be a monolithic entity. This is unhelpful when trying to understand its true role in our lives and in our yogic practice. Let's separate it from the mind, in which brain, whose function is to receive sensory information, to think, to act, has its source. Thinking expresses itself in the form of electromagnetic waves. Intellect is more subtle than the mind, and it is concerned with the knowledge of the facts and the reasoning faculty, and becomes discernible only through its inherent quality, intelligence, which is closer to consciousness than to the mind thought process. Means the right knowledge, which also is considered as the something which is valuable, is the part of the mind, not of the soul. That gives happiness, but then we can go astray out of it also. You can check these things. So the intelligence is inherent in every aspect of our being, from the physical to the blissful. It is non-manifest only in the Atman or the Purush, the core of being. So the quality of intelligence is inherent but dormant. So our first step must be to awaken it. And the practice of asanas brings intelligence to the surface of the cellular body through stretching, and to the physiological body by maintaining the pose. And once awakened, intelligence can reveal its dynamic aspects and its ability to discriminate. Then we strive for equal extensions to achieve a balanced stable pose, measuring upper arm stretch against the lower, right leg against the left, inner against the outer, and this precise thorough process of measuring and discriminating is the apprenticeship or culturing our intelligence. And it is pursued in the internal sheaths by the pranayama, pratyahara, and the further stages of yoga. We can thus see that discrimination is a weighing process belonging to the world of duality. When what is wrong is discarded, what is left must be correct. When discrimination has been cultivated and intelligence is full, then the bright ego and the mind retreat, and chitta becomes sharp and clear. But spiritual intelligence, which is true wisdom, dawns only when discrimination ends. Wisdom does not function in duality, it perceives only oneness. It doesn't discard the wrong, it sees only the right. Wisdom is not mingled with nature and is indeed unsuitable for the problems of life in a dualistic world. It would be of no use to a politician, for example, however high his motives, for he must choose and decide in the relative temporal world. The spiritual wisdom does not decide, it knows it is beyond time. However, the progressive refinement of intelligence is essential in the search for freedom. The discriminating intellect should be used to diffuse the negative impact of memory, which links us in the physiological time to the world of sensory pleasure and pain. All matter, from the rocks to the human cells, contains its own inherent intelligence, but only man has the capacity to awaken culture and finally transcend even the intelligence. So, the totally pure chitta, free from the sensory entanglements, gravitates towards the Atman. So, once intelligence has achieved the highest knowledge of nature, is drawn inwards towards the soul, and the buddhi has the capacity to perceive itself, its innate virtue is honesty. So, these things could confuse us also. That is why the spiritual understanding needs the presence of a divine master. That is why in the tradition it is always emphasized first to worship or respect the divine master as the Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. This much in this video. We'll go further to see what lies ahead.